Hi everybody, Larry Vela here, Big Red from BoLS Souls, and today I want to show you guys something very special that we got from Battlefront. This is the D-Day supplement, and it is a very impressive piece of work here. This is D-Day, Battle for France, as you can see here on the cover, June through September 1944. This is a Flames of War supplement, and what we have here in D-Day is, first of all, let's just kind of give you a general idea of what we're talking about. This is a big, huge, this is the big late war supplement set. It comes in this really swanky slip cover, as you can see. Let me take these two out. And inside that slip cover, you get two late war books. You get Turning Tide, the Allied invasion of France. You get Earth and Steel, the German defense of France. And these two books, in case you're kind of wondering what these are, this set, this D-Day set with these two hardcovers, are the recompiled and updated editions for late war of what used to be 6 different smaller softcover supplements that were available that are now going out of print. And they didn't just put these things together and put them in fancy slipcovers. The lists have been completely recompiled. There's lots of new lists. It's a really cool thing. So previously for late mid-war, as an example, has had 2 of these nice oversized hardcover campaign books in the form of Eastern Front and North Africa, and even early war has its brand new book Blitzkrieg. So this is the first time that late war is actually getting kind of the big fancy hardcover treatment here. Previously, Fortress Europe had kind of been the big omnibus all of Europe 1944 book. So now we have this big huge set here that's just for D-Day, and as we all know, D-Day is definitely kind of one of the more popular and parts of World War II that really, gets a lot of people's imaginations fired up. So let's kind of take a look at these in turn so you can get an idea of what I'm talking about. Let's start off with the Allies. Turning Tide. So what we have here on Turning Tide is a hardcover book. It's 244 pages, and it gives you 16 British and 22 American Army lists, which were previously in several other books. But of those, 17 of those lists are new. So there's a lot of new content in here, and if you've ever seen a Battlefront hardcover campaign book before, they're really nice. Give you kind of you get maps, you get kind of some of the basics here. British forces from Gold, Juno, and Sword Beaches, all their lists. British forces from U.S. forces on Omaha, more U.S. forces during breakout in Brittany, and then all kinds of special rules. And as you kind of look through these, it shows you how you build an army list, how you read it, how you construct armies, how you base your miniatures. You get a lot of history on here, just great pictures all throughout, lots of good history here. And then you get into some sample lists that we'll kind of give you here. As an example, there's warriors, which are kind of the equivalent of name characters from other systems that you may be aware of. Great art throughout. We'll walk you through just kind of what some of these lists might look like. Here's a Canadian Armoured Squadron as an example. So you have your kind of list here with your mandatory areas here in black that you have to purchase, all these optional units, and then each of these corresponds to one of these areas here. That'll show you, within your mandatory headquarters unit, what does that look like? So you have your pair of tanks here with all the optionals and point values for them, stats on how trained and experienced and the confidence levels of the armies are, and then you go through that for all kinds of different units, and it just goes, as you can tell, on and on and on and on and on. This is a big book. It goes all the way through. You get all the weapon charts, which is huge amounts of weapons. This is just the British arsenal, so this is still tanks, guns, all different types of guns, armored cars, infantry, transports, more infantry, air support. And this book, here we are, just kind of flipping through. This is the American section. Lots of history there, the big red one. This book, here's a big, huge map of D-Day. This book kind of really does go into the history of D-Day. I mean, this is not kind of one of those big type of books where there's generic army lists that cover lots and lots of wide, disparate units. Because of there's these books are so large and they're dealing just with D-Day, you really are getting lists for very specific fighting units, which is really interesting. It takes a lot of the generic kind of a feel that could affect a system like this out, and it really feels like you are dealing with the actual combatants who were there, which is a really nice feel to it. So there you go. That is the Allied side of it. As you can see here, we're talking about a particular army, and not only are they going to give you the list, they're going to tell you exactly what they did. And here's all the maps of all their major actions, special rules for how to use them, things like that. At the very back of each of these books, you get a section on hobby and painting, so how to paint your guys, schemes to use for both infantry and vehicles, and then big giant maps of the entire Normandy area. So that was Turning Tide, and now let's take a look at the German side of it. This is Earth and Steel. This book, Earth and Steel, this is 216 pages. You get 31 army lists in this for everything from the light infantry divisions who are manning the beaches to lists that cover all of the fortifications and bunkers and things like that, all the way to panzer and fully mechanized lists. So you get 31 army lists in there. 10 of them are new, have never been seen before. And you get all kinds of special rules for a lot of the fortifications that you would expect that would be part of the D-Day campaign. So we're going to take a look through this guy. Same thing here. You have all your beautiful maps. Kind of give you just the general thing. You have 352nd Infantry Division, 21st Panzer Division, Luftwaffe divisions, and then it just goes on and on and on. And Panzer Lehr divisions, on and on and on. And these are specific, by number. These are the specific, organizations that were there and actually fought. As far as general layout goes, it's the same thing that you saw in Turning Tide. You have how to build an army, kind of how it all goes together, how you base your miniatures. You get history. You whereas Turning Tide kind of presented everything from the Allied side, now you're getting to see it from the German side. Here's a listing of all the individual units that were in the region, and which corresponds directly to the army lists that are in it. Get all the nice color plates, special rules, and then we'll go through a sample list as an example, just like we did. Here is a Fusilier company, so you have your headquarters with its corresponding unit over here. You have your two infantry combat platoons that are required, which correspond to this, and then you have all your optionals and all kinds of other stuff that you can add to the list, which you'll see in other lists, and then this goes on and on and on. One of the neat things you get on the German side is you get all the fortifications, so all the D-Day fortifications. So here's a whole section as an example on special rules of how to use bunkers, how do you assault them, how to use flamethrowers, all that kind of stuff. And then here's an entire list of things that you can purchase for certain armies. So just like you can purchase tanks and infantry and things like that, you can purchase anti-tank gun positions, you can minefields, barbed wire, trenches, machine gun nests, artillery pits, all kinds of stuff like that. Really, really, really neat stuff. How to use them in games. And we'll keep flipping on past here, and as you can see, we're just going on and on and on. There are, as I said earlier, 31 army lists just in this one book alone. And as we reach the end of it, we have history of all the various divisions are in here, special rules, and then at the end, the big master German equipment table, which as you can see is just massive. Look, this is just tanks. All of these. Every one of those lines is a different tanks, guns, artillery, armored cars, different types of infantry, all the fortifications. And it keeps on going on. Even more. This is an entire page of different types of guns, trucks, APCs. And then at the very end, you get your little, you get some special rules. You get your painting section, how to paint your infantry, how to paint your vehicles, all the different, and your big fancy map at the end, and that is it. So let me put these two guys back in here. Once again, that is the D-Day campaign supplement. That is supposed to be out right at the start of December, I believe, and that has a cost of $100 for the slipcover and the 2 hardback books in there. And I'm going to say that at some point in the future, those books are almost certainly going to be available separately as well. But for now, you can get the big box set, and there it is. Talk to you guys later. Thanks.